Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Play Jungle Heat. Today we've got the fourth episode of the gameplay series, and what I'm going to do is just start off with talking a little bit about the base, and then we'll just get into some attacks. So as you guys know, what I've done here is just try to surround my base with some of the buildings on the outside. This way, anyone trying to attack me would have to go through these and take them down before they get to any of my defensive buildings or the resource storages. So what I've also done is dropped in my rally points, the lab, and the clan HQ at the bottom. These buildings have plenty of health points, so anyone trying to attack from that side would have to go through those first. And while they're attacking these buildings, whether those be the oil storages, the rally points, barracks, and gold mines. So what I've done is I've dropped in each of my mortar on the sides of my base. As you guys can see, they've got a pretty large radius of attack. I've also got my flame towers on each end of my base. This is going to allow me to target those troops from my enemies and take them down while they're attacking these buildings on the outside. Same with the watchtowers and the cannons. So basically what you guys want to do is definitely have your defensive units behind walls. I've seen a lot of bases that leave their mortars or their watchtowers, flame towers on the outside. This just gives your enemy a free shot at them, and they're going to be able to bring them down much easier as opposed to defensive units that are behind walls. You guys also want to make sure your Jericho, the air defense, is kind of in the middle of the base. That way it gets to target any air troops coming from any side of the base. So moving into the first attack, what I'm going to try to do is collect a bunch of gold today so I can upgrade some of those defenses. And looking at the first base, it's got a decent amount of resources. Most of the collectors are on the outside, and they're pretty easy to get to, but I'm not going to attack this base, so because I'm only looking at bases that have more than 100,000 in gold. But if you guys are farming and you're looking for some easy resources, this is the kind of layout that you guys definitely want to attack. So moving on to the next one, this looks like a good base to attack. It's got close to 200,000 in gold, another 80 plus in oil. Looks like most of the gold should be in each of these two storages at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is start off with my gunners and drop a few wall breakers just to get through and start attacking some of these defenses. They're going to work on that flame tower and brought it down. And moving on to the mortar next. Unfortunately, the wallbreaker AI isn't as good as you want it to be at this point. It continues to go to random places. But we did get through to the mortar, and for some reason the gunner here seems to be attacking the gold storage, and I don't know why that is. I'm gonna take that up with the developers and see if they can figure that out. Unfortunately, the base also had clan reinforcements. I didn't take that into account, so definitely that was a fail on my part. Anytime you guys are attacking, you just want to make sure to check out the clan HQ, and what you guys can do is just drop in a single unit next to it. That way, if he has any troops in there, they're going to come out and you will know what you're up against. People have been asking me what the best way to bring down some of these troops are, and at this point, the best unit is to use your riflemen, and the way you can do it is drop in a gunner or two to distract the clan HQ troops, and then follow that up with dropping a bunch of riflemen to bring it down. So we've taken about half the gold at this point. We've still got about a minute and 40 seconds left with 80,000 gold left. I don't have many troops at this point. The clan HQ was able to take down most of them. I'm not going to be able to bring that Hornet down. So what I'm going to do is just distract it by dropping a few troops next to those oil rigs. And that worked as I was able to drop in the rest of my spies and collect about another 30,000 in gold. At this point, we've only got a couple of spies left, so this base is pretty much done. We weren't able to beat it, but that wasn't what I was after. I was able to collect close to 175,000 in gold, so I will count this as a win for myself. Basically, anytime you're going after resources and you're able to get over 100,000 in gold, 150,000, it's a pretty good attack. So moving back to base, I'm just gonna go ahead and train some more troops. What I'm gonna do is just jam them up so you guys don't have to wait for them to get trained, and we'll move right into the next attack. Alright, so moving on to the next one. Again, we're looking at a base full of resources, And as you guys can see, the command center is outside the walls, and most of the resources seem to be in the collectors, which are also outside the walls. We've got a flame tower outside, and it looks like we should be able to beat this base without a problem and collect most, if not all, of the resources. So what I'm going to do is just start off by dropping a bunch of units to take that flame tower down. I'm going to go ahead with a few of my gunners and drop some wall breakers to try and get through to that mortar next. This way I can take care of most of the splash damage that can take down my troops right in the beginning, and then my troops will be free to collect the resources. So I've already taken the flame tower and the mortar down. My gunners are moving into the center of the base, taking care of that watchtower. I've dropped in a bunch of riflemen and spies to take care of those oil rigs, and we should have most of the oil in a few seconds. And with that, we also have the command center down, and we have a star. So we're not going to be losing any ratings on this one either. We've got about 2 minutes left, and most of the gold is still on the base. But I've got plenty of troops, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to keep dropping a few spies here and there to take care of those gold mines, and we should be able to collect all of it. Alright, so my spies should be finishing up soon, and we've got pretty much most of the gold. It looks like there's about another 3,000 left in the gold storages, so what I'm gonna do is drop in a few troops to take care of that. Unfortunately, it seems like the gold is in the other storage, uh, so I'm not probably gonna be able to get to that. It's well protected by a couple of defenses. I have a few troops left, but since the gold storage is behind the wall, there's no point dropping them. They'll be taken down pretty quickly by that flame tower and the mortar. So we can just go ahead and surrender this base. It was a pretty good attack. We got about 278,000 in resources. So we can just head back to base and just look at some of the defenses I may be able to upgrade at this point. I think I've got close to 800 or 9,000 in gold. So I might not be able to do some of the mortars that I wanted to, or maybe even the flame tower. I may be able to do that. I think it's 700k if I'm not mistaken. So what I usually try to do is try to upgrade the building that takes the most resources, or if I have enough resources, try to do multiple units at the same time. It looks like we need 500k for the cannon and 300 for the watchtower, so we may should have enough for doing two of those. And I think I'll go ahead and start with that. Maybe start with a watchtower and a cannon here. I've also got now enough oil to start upgrading those rally points. So I'm going to start with that one. That's going to give us another 5 troops in our army, taking the total to 140, which is great. We won't be able to upgrade the mortar. We need another 36k, and I'm not going to waste any of my diamonds buying the gold. So let's just go ahead with the watchtower and the cannon. Uh, oh, Unfortunately, it looks like I won't be able to do that. We'll need to get to level 7 command center before I can start upgrading those cannons, so I should have looked at that before I did this. So I've got another 500 left. I can just go ahead and do the other watchtower in that case. And that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Make sure to drop a thumbs up and your comments in the section below. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be coming up with a few more gameplays this week, so do stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.